Here's a formula to brainwash yourself, right? How is that useful, Leo? Well, in branding and differentiation, we always use subliminal messaging. And by the way, if you don't know subliminal messaging, in the 80s, in theaters, they used to test it. They used to write the word popcorn in a millisecond, and popcorn sales would jump up by 30%. That's why it's illegal, because it's an unfair advantage. It's playing with your mind. But in proper branding, we're still using that technique, right? But here's another way of brainwashing yourself to quit smoking, lose weight, whatever it is you want to do. And how can you use these techniques to train clients to do business with you as opposed to your competitors? Let's see if you can figure out some of the techniques that you should be using. Listen.
Formula to brainwashing, and I've taught this to many of my clients, and there's a 7-step process that if you wanted to brainwash yourself, you could take the exact same process, and you could take that exact process, and we can go through this if you want to. It may take me a few minutes.
Absolutely. We love the 7 steps. This is a brilliant move that for 25 years I've been searching for this answer.
Step 1 is target acquisition. So this is how the brain locks onto something. And your brain has a structure called the reticular activating system, which is part of the reticular formation.
Right.
And inside of this RAS its job is to filter reality, not really giving you full reality. It's just filtering it down to what it thinks is important to you. So you're exposed to millions and millions of bits of information every second. And so let's say it's an average of, let's say, 8 to 10 million bits of information per second. Your brain holds on to 40. Your brain makes you aware of 40 of those bits. So it deletes almost everything else. So what does it keep? It keeps what it's been trained to look for. That's why when you go out and buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing that thing everywhere.
Right.
The cars didn't multiply, and it's not like everyone went out and copied you and went out and got the same car. Your brain says, okay, Chase thinks this pickup truck is important. I'm going to show him everybody else that has this pickup truck everywhere.
Social
so
proof.
Brain changing a filter. So when people say, I want a better year,
right,
the reticular activating system completely ignores it.
This is why it failed resolutions everywhere. You're starting in the wrong spot of the brain.
Right, and there's nothing that it can really lock onto. So, but when you define a precise arrival condition, that word exactly. So step 2 is threat modeling. Fear is not the enemy here. And this part can make some people uncomfortable, but neuroscience is crystal clear on this. This has been reviewed for hundreds of years. The brain is not optimized for happiness. No neuroscientist will ever tell you that.
Mm-mm.
It's optimized primarily for threat avoidance. If you go back to our ancestors, they were way more likely to mistake a rock for a bear than the other way around, right? So threat avoidance is number 1. Humans don't move toward pleasure, is what this is telling us. We're way more likely to move away from threat. So what we're going to do to the human brain is to weaponize the contrast.
Okay.
So the protocol here for step 2 is to write 2 futures out and make them vivid. Use imagery, go to Google Images or Pinterest or whatever. Build two different futures, not just one. So future A is the desired outcome. This is vivid, sensory, precise, and very calm confidence, all the stuff that you're arriving at this place. Future number 2 is the failure trajectory there. So this is if nothing happens, nothing changes, same habits, same beliefs, same excuses. This one has to be very uncomfortable. So loss aversion is stronger than reward anticipation in the brain. And we know this from decades of research.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Your amygdala, this emotional part of our brain, it's a threat detection center, activates like 10 times faster and 10 times stronger than all the reward circuits. So when people only visualize success, they're missing half of the equation. So consequences are very important. So the brain needs that contrast. You need to show it where you're going if you change and where you're going if you don't. And here's the thing that most people I don't think articulate. Doing nothing is still choosing the future.
Mm-hmm.
And once you visually model that future emotionally, not just abstract, emotionally, something flips. Staying the same begins to feel unsafe. And that's the point that everyone needs to get to. So with step 2, we're engineering this identity thing. Your brain is going to violate logic before it violates identity.
Okay.
So think about this. We're not gonna say like, oh well, I'm stupid and here's all these logic things that make total sense. We will call logic stupid and then rewire the identity around it. This is called cognitive dissonance. It's well researched. So if behavior conflicts with identity, behavior changes, not identity. This is why people sabotage goals that don't match who they believe they are. So instead of asking, how do I force myself to do this, we ask, what kind of person would never even question this behavior? Identity lives in predictive processing. So your brain's model of who I am and how I operate is what that is. So once that model updates, habits stop requiring a whole lot of effort. So that's why willpower feels exhausting as hell.
Yes.
It's fighting the model instead of rewriting it. So when identity shifts, behavior feels obvious. So there's a protocol here that you can do. And you can do this daily. And I would recommend it daily if you really want to do brainwashing on yourself. You have to define 3 beliefs that that person holds, 3 daily behaviors that that kind of person defaults to, and then 3 standards they do not negotiate. They're not aspirations that you're setting down. You're writing the rules, like the lifestyle rules of this new identity, and on a recurring basis. So that's rule 3. All right. So next is environmental sabotage. And as a subtitle for this, you could write down, context always beats discipline. So here's a super overlooked fact that is out there. If most of your behaviors is context dependent, it's not value dependent. So it's same person, different environment, you get a different behavior. So your basal ganglia run all of these scripts that are tied to location and time and posture and cues. That's why changing your environment works even when motivation doesn't work. That's why when you walk through a doorway, like I walk into my office to grab something and I forget. And the moment I reach that little boundary from one room to the next, like you're like, oh shit, what did I come in here to do? What was I supposed to get? There's a formula.
What do you think? And are you using some of these techniques in your marketing and branding to create that differentiation? Would love to hear your thoughts below.